It's Championship Sunday here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Battle of one seeds in both brackets, and we'll start off with the men. Fullerton and San Francisco. Mike Cepeda joined alongside Jeff Stoynoff. And Jeff, going to be a great day of basketball.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic weekend so far, and all leading to this matchup of one seeds in both the men and the women. And what can you say other than I have no idea how this is going to go between these two teams. Such a difficult matchup to call.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's been a lackluster performance from CCSF. They've gotten 2 wins against very good teams, but they have not started off great. And I got the feeling if they don't start off better here today versus Fullerton, they're not coming back.
Yeah, you're tempted to say that, except that they keep doing it, but it's true. You cannot continue to put yourself in a position where you're down 7, 8, 10 points with 7, 8 minutes to go and then just expect to turn it on. That's particularly dangerous against Fullerton College. They're such an aggressive, determined defensive team. They make it so difficult to go on runs that when you really need one, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you need to make a run late against these guys.
Yeah, CCSF, little flat against Santa Monica, but they do what great teams do. They win, and they find a way to win against really good teams. And Santa Monica came in here as a play-in game, and they were Cinderella, but talking with Coach Justin LeBaugh, they're as good as anybody in the state, and they felt like they were lucky to get past them. And yesterday, a terrific performance versus Citrus. Citrus looked like lights out. They were up 15 at the half, and here comes CCSF chipping away, and eventually with the win.
Yeah. I think the theme for this weekend has been, why have seeds in the state aid? Because really, the 16 teams, they're interchangeable. Everybody so obviously deserves to be here, and everybody has shown that this weekend in their performance. The Rams, I think they're an interesting team. They're so deep. They have so much talent. They play so well together. Maybe there's a little bit of a measure of they need to find what recipe is working on a day, and sometimes that takes into the second half before they realize, okay, this is the 5 on the floor that's really working today, and they get that going. But that's a nice problem to have. But 8, 9, 10 deep with big, talented, athletic players who really have high court IQ as well. It's a well-put-together team. So Fullerton's got a big challenge in front of them, but number 1 seed in the South, no doubt they're up to it.
Fullerton struggled on day 1 versus Santa Rosa, eventually getting the win. Big performance from State Player of the Year in the South, Lance Coleman, and he'll go up against another State Player of the Year, co-State Player of the Year in the North, Malcolm Johnson. And it's, who knows, it's anybody's game. The thing that I find, something that you just touched on, is they're so talented at CCSF, sometimes they lack a sense of identity. And throughout the year, Coach Justin LeBaugh has really told me that Malcolm Johnson has been the guy that they have shouldered the load. He struggled from the field in the first 2 games. This is the top defensive team in the state in Fullerton, and I don't see them making life easy on the Rams here today. So what's the matchup going to be? Yesterday, the Rams from Fresno, it was tough sledding. They fell behind big early, and they were never really able to get back into it and really secure a lead and get back out. Hornets so good at really just kind of just milking the game clock throughout the game. Different matchup today. They don't have a big. So Ronnie Reedus will have to do a great job, as he has all season, of playing good defense and then facilitating offensively. Does a great job of reversing the ball, but you might want to see him try to get his down low. I think that'll be a big key here today.
Yeah, it's good news, bad news. If you're City College of San Francisco, they have the sort of athleticism and length across the board to actually contend with a guy like Lance Coleman. Johnson's a good matchup for him. That'll be a stern challenge for Lance Coleman, but they don't have that one big guy that maybe can match up with Ronnie Reedus in the middle. So that's where the challenge is going to be, and it'll be fascinating to see how it plays out.
Stansbury a year ago got hot in the final en route to the win for San Francisco, looking to defend their style. Remember, it was Lewis Hayes, a big man, last year, who came away with tournament MVP, and we'll find out who the tournament MVP and the men's bracket will be in a few minutes. Coming up, San Francisco, the defending state champs, and Fullerton, top seeds from both brackets. Stay tuned, everybody. It's the top seeds from both the North and the South. City College of San Francisco, Malcolm Johnson, Austin McCullough, Deshaun Winston, Alec Check, Walter Urbina. For the Hornets, it'll be Lance Coleman, Omaje Smith, Jalen Moore, Roderick McCobb, and Ronnie Reedus.
Omaje Smith with an illness midweek that kept him out of the game on Thursday. Did return in the win yesterday. Appeared to be still somewhat labored by the illness, but back in the starting lineup today. And of course, he means so much to the team physically, but also emotionally on the floor as well.
Yeah, McCobb and Omaje Smith, really the best perimeter defenders. And they had their hands full on Thursday in the win over Skylar Chalmers and the Bear Cubs from Santa Rosa. That was a hard-fought win. And Fullerton yesterday in the win over Fresno came out a lot hotter, pulled off substantially. And Phil Thurman to the broadcast booth. First time 1937-38. These two teams met 35-41.
I'll tell you what, Mike, I wasn't even born then. That's a long time ago.
Are you sure? And that was a loss Fullerton sustained. And then back in 61-62, a win for Fullerton, 46-45. These two teams have not met in a while. Interesting side note here, Perry Webster lost in the Final Four in this very gym as a member of Saddleback College the year after they won it at Kowloon. And that was 2010. So familiar with the program here, and Urbina out of bounds.
Something to keep in mind in this particular matchup, a big difference in the length of the bench for the two teams. Perry Webster right now for Fullerton going 7, maybe 8 deep. All the starters have logged better than 30 minutes a game on average through the first 2 games this weekend. Meanwhile, City College of San Francisco going to go about 10 deep.
McCobb guarded by Urbina. Urbina making McCobb start way out in front. Coleman on McCullough. That'll be an interesting matchup to watch. Reedus guarded by Johnson. Easy money down low. That's going to be a tough matchup. Jeff, we talked about it in the pregame. Really nobody at the disposal for City College of San Francisco to match up with Reedus down low. Just such a big, imposing force. 6'9", 6'10", with a lot of bulk. Good skill, good finish around the basket.
Yeah, he's so efficient, Michael. 10 points, 6 rebounds yesterday in 25 minutes, but he was 4 of 4 from the floor, so he makes the most of his opportunities.
And conversely, you have to see, that's a great job by Johnson keeping it alive. He reestablishes inbound, gets it over. This is Deshaun Winston from the corner. That one off the mark. Reedus snatches down a one-handed board. So the Hornets in the white, working right to left. Reedus at the top of the key, reverses it near side. There's a matchup zone here. The Hornets trying to pick their spots in terms of matchups. Here's Reedus working against McCullough. And Reedus establishing as a big, steps through, lays it in. 4-0, Ronnie Reedus on top of City College of San Francisco. The Hornets a good start here.
They're going to have to run a double team at Ronnie Reedus here.
Well, it's been a game of adjustments throughout the week for City College of San Francisco, and the adjustments early have not been very good, but late they have closed very well en route to 2 wins and find themselves here in the final. McCullough trying to draw the foul. Now, he's done that pretty well the first 2 days, but I got a feeling that he's not going to get that call very often here. Johnson again guarding Reedus. Reedus going to work down low. The double comes late, Urbina, but that shot off the mark from Reedus.
Yeah, Roderick McCobb draws another tough defensive assignment, getting McCullough.
Check from 3, that one off the mark. Maybe some early jitters here for CCSF. They are scoreless through a couple and change gone off on the clock.
Well, Fresno put up just 16 points in the first half against Fullerton in the semifinals yesterday.
Matchup to watch here, Coleman versus Johnson. Switched off, McCullough wide open. Roderick McCobb from 3, yes!
McCobb 0 for 7 from 3 yesterday, but a little bit of hard luck in that. Had some pretty good looks and balls that just wouldn't stay down, but that one was pure.
Shades of yesterday in the win versus Fresno. A hot start for the Hornets. We'll have some activity off the ball. Jalen Moore fouling Austin McCullough. We're going to see Dylan Banks. Is that the second? Okay, that's going to be Majay Smith. So here comes Dylan Banks, and Banks with a big 3 at the end of the first half yesterday versus Fresno. After Fresno had gotten a little bit back into it.
9 points, 6 assists for Dylan Banks, backing up Majay Smith yesterday, and talked about Banks and his growth this season for the Hornets.
Check on the baseline, gives off to Urbina, guarded by Coleman. Walter Urbina, bounce back from San Jose State. Los Angeles product, Johnson, player of the year in the North, Post-State player of the year. 3 from the top of the key for Malcolm Johnson.
That's a big shot for the Rams and a big step up for a key player, Malcolm Johnson. That's a bucket they needed.
Have to get him going as well. Good to see that if you're a Ram fan. Coleman off to McCobb. Roderick guarded by Curry. Dale Curry has checked back into the ball game. Checked in for the first time. Fadeaway jumper over check for Lance Coleman.
6'6" Coleman, and such a deadly fadeaway. That's a difficult shot to defend.
Deadly shot in general here, Stoy. Coleman, such a great stroke. You see why State Player of the Year in the South. Lance Coleman the second. Dylan Banks commits a foul on Curry, so baseline out of bounds. 13 foul on the Hornets. McCullough from the corner. Moore maybe got a piece of it. Ronnie Reedus with the rebound.
The Hornets defend the perimeter so well. So difficult to catch and shoot.
Banks on the dribble, guarded by Alec Check. Coleman at the top, guarded by Curry. Moore comes off of a curl. It's going to be an offensive foul. McCullough really selling it. Well, that's 1 of 4 where he's gone to the floor and gotten a whistle.
Yeah, Moore has taken 24 three-point shots in the first 2 games, and sense here a concerted effort to try and shake things up and get a different look at the basket, maybe get him going, but he picks up the offensive foul.
Possession back to the Rams, trailing it by 6. 16-10 to go in the first half. Urbina from 3. That one's short. I think if you're Perry Webster and the Hornets, you'll take that shot and live with it if he makes it. Moore down to Coleman. Reedus down low. Comes free, and we'll have a foul on McCullough trying to trip up Reedus. Just can't have that. We're going to see that. So Reedus just comes through, and McCullough trying to sell a foul, and McCullough wrapping up the leg there. That's a great job on the replay, gentlemen. Emery Johnson, Ryan Wilmore. Joe Hickey helping out in the broadcast cockpit.
It's just the first foul on McCullough, but he heads to the bench. And Jason Ricketts on. A little more size, see if they put Ricketts on Reedus. Well, right now, it's Emeka Denyi who has checked in to be on Ronnie Reedus.
Has been very good defensively for the Rams. That's too easy for Lance Coleman.
Yeah,
the Rams dodge a bullet there.
Udenyi did it all yesterday, defending and also 16 points to lead the Rams on the offensive end.
Ricketts, great drop step down low, can't finish. Udenyi looking for the weak side board. It's Reedus saying, give me that. To Dylan Banks. Hornets so good at controlling tempo. You work on their clock. Reedus at the top, hands off to Dylan Banks. Looking for a back door. Oh, that's a great idea. McCobb just a little late getting to the ball. I think he looked like he decelerated going after that ball, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he held up there.
pass.
See, if he's just cutting to the basket, that's going to be a reverse layup for Roger Cobb. Instead, it's a turnover. Out of bounds, back to CCSF. Udenyi with it on the far side, guarded now by Dylan Banks. 2-3 matchup zone here from the Hornets. Looking to enter it in. Here's Curry from 3. Yes. Dale Curry cuts the lead in half. More to answer on the other end. Quick 3 in transition. No. Curry with the rebound for CCSF. Trailing by 3. Under 15 to play in the first half. Alec Check with it. Picks up his dribble. Udenyi. Curry, who just hit the 3. Ricketts from the corner. Reedus challenges. That one way off. Coleman up high for the rebound. There's a battle for it. We're going to have a foul. This is going to go against Udenyi.
I think they're going to get Alec Check, aren't they? See what they put up there. They were both in the area trying to tie up Coleman, and it's Check that gets the foul.
Will be Check. You're right there, Stoy. Both teams executing pretty well here early. A couple early shots in both courts. Reedus will come off. Lodge Rice into the game for the Hornets. Coleman picks up his dribble versus Winston. McCobb pressured, comes off.
You've got time on the shot clock.
15 on the shot clock. No need to rush. Coleman comes free. Banks from 3. Dylan Banks hit one from a little longer than that spot. Same angle, though. The Hornets back out to a 6-point lead.
Yeah, Banks with 3 threes yesterday.
And Banks with a near steal on Udenyi.
Throws in another one here today, and Dylan Banks feeling it from distance.
Struggled on day 1, but you figured, hey, it had to normalize there. Banks, just a fantastic story this season for Perry Webster. Didn't get a lot of playing time earlier in the year, but then Zeke Alley, the starting point guard. Udenyi powering down low, left-handed layup off the mark. Coleman with a rebound, tapped it out of bounds. It's staying here with the Rams.
See the Rams trying to establish a low post game the last couple times down. They've gotten pretty good looks.
Yeah, the response is if you're going to take out Ronnie Reedus, we're going to try and bully you down low, and it's exactly what Udenyi tried to do there. Just couldn't make the layup. Curry comes off of a staggered pick. Down low, this is Harris. Harris is fouled. This is going to be Dylan Banks, the offending party.
So you see the depth already now. 9 players for City College of San Francisco have appeared in this one. And
it's a matchup of number 1 seeds. It's a matchup of state player of the years. It's a matchup of coaches of the year in each region. Justin LeBall, Perry Webster.
I guess that's what happens when 2 teams go 60-4 coming into today.
That helps. The Rams looking to defend their title. The win over Fullerton. Right now they trail it by 6. They won it a year ago. The win over San Diego City. It's Charlins. Charlins made the playoffs this year, but they were dispatched in the play-in round versus Santa Monica.
Yeah, that turned out to be a more than forgivable loss, didn't it? It was a play-in game, but Santa Monica made it all the way here.
Giving San Francisco everything they wanted and more on day 1. We have a foul here called on Harris, moving on the pick. Well, Jeff, point of emphasis. We've talked about it throughout the week, both the men's and women's side. You got to stay home. And look at Harris. He just moves the left shoulder, and he's moving down low. Rice and Reedus now on the floor. So the Hornets go a little big here. McCobb will be the point guard. Udenyi guarding up top. Such a versatile defender. Can really guard all 5 positions. McCobb looking for Reedus down low. He's guarded by Ricketts. Reedus a little bit far out. Dribbles back. Still on it. Creates some separation. McCobb into the lane. Tough shot. Reverse layup. No good. That was Harrison Bonner, who's checked into the ball game for the Hornets. He's going to the line.
That's a good job by Bonner, looking for an opportunity to be a scorer. Gets the baseline drive, gets himself to the line. Mike, I think it's important that the Rams really push pace right from the outset. The depth could be a real key factor here, and the Hornets have logged heavy minutes in the first 2 games for that top 7 in the rotation. They picked up the pressure in the half-court set there on that last possession. See if they keep that up.
Denny comes off. Urbina back into the mix for the Rams. Urbina, McCullough, Malcolm Johnson, Austin Harris, and Deshaun Winston on the floor right now for the Rams. Reedus, Bonner, Rice, Jalen Moore, and McCobb on the floor for the Hornets. 13-12 to go in the first half. It's an 8-point lead for Fullerton. Johnson has already hit a three here today. At the elbow, kicks out to McCullough. Too much room. McCullough fires. It's short. Johnson tracks down a rebound, fouled by Reedus.
McCullough 6 for 8 from 3 in the first 2 games this weekend, but he's missed his first 2 attempts here in this one. A little different animal against this Hornet team in terms of perimeter defense, but they have to locate McCullough at all times.
You're exactly right there, Stoyan. I think McCullough a little bit too much room on that one. Jalen Moore a little late to close out. Harris comes free. Rice guarding on Johnson. Enter at the elbow. This is Winston. Winston traveled. Yep. It's a great job of pressure by Harrison Bonner. Forced the turnover. Bonner on the dribble. He's guarded by Urbina. Bonner looking for some room. See if they employ the trap here. No, just some help over. They kick out Jalen Moore. A little bit of daylight, and Jalen buries a triple.
Really like what Bonner's giving you right now off the bench. Able to get into the lane, create a little space for Jalen Moore.
Biggest lead for the Hornets at 11, 17-6. Fullerton. Harris turns a corner. Gets some space off glass. No. Johnson with the tip. No. Winston out of bounds. Back to the Hornets it will go. Life's so difficult offensively for the Rams.
And the Rams aren't being helped by a little bit of bad fortune here. A couple of balls that just somehow are not staying down from point-blank range. And
they break the press. 3-on-2. Numbers. Rice, 17-footer off the back iron. Johnson the other way. The Rams. Bonner. It's a great job of staying straight up and an incredible finish with contact from Winston. So the bleeding stops momentarily here for City College of San Francisco. Near steal for Winston. Bonner over to McCobb. Offensive foul. That's a late whistle.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think Winston does a good job of selling that foul, but what catches Bonner here is just where this contact happens. It's near the face, and that's one of those things, like a play that looks a little awkward. That's going to draw the whistle.
But what happens is that Bonner actually does a good job of avoiding the elbow. He catches him with the back elbow, and that shouldn't be a foul. It's a tough whistle. Reedus guarding Harris down low, up and under, layup not there. Coleman comes through for the rebound, taps it over to Ronnie Reedus. That pass nearly stolen. McCobb, Coleman, Hornets have it. Bonner looking to isolate down low. Coleman, that's a great job of execution in the two-man game between Bonner and Coleman to set up a foul.
Yeah, they get the switch to get Winston on Coleman. That's a tough matchup for Deshaun Winston, and picks up his first foul.
15 foul now in City College of San Francisco. With Denny back into the mix here. He'll come on for Harris. Baseline out of bounds. Bonner through to the corner. They're looking for Coleman, looking for McCobb. McCobb down low, and he lost it out of bounds.
That might have been off of McCobb.
Well, they're going to say it stays here with the Hornets. It's either a foul or ran ball. Okay, so the Hornets going to keep it. Cobb looking for Reedus. Instead will enter into Coleman. Such a tough pass, and it's going to be a foul on Coleman on McCullough, who would come free.
That's a great read by McCullough defensively. Coming off his man, able to get there at the same time as the ball near Coleman, and Coleman ends up committing the foul.
Yeah, loose ball foul, so 18 foul in the Hornets, 1-1 for Austin McCullough.
And McCullough, very good foul shooter, 80%.
I think I buried the lead here, so happy St. Patrick's Day. Does a green screen count?
We're doing something. Although I don't notice any green between the two of us.
I don't have any green on my person. Not much green in the wardrobe. McCobb out front, guarded by Chet, closed out on. There's Reedus down the low block, working on Johnson, looking for some room. Step through, hook shot, Ronnie Reedus!
That's great patience by Reedus. No double team comes, takes his time, gets the shot he wants.
Reedus now with 6 in the ball game. Urbina on the low block. Short corner now working on Omaje Smith. Urbina, step through. Reedus with the challenge. It's off the mark. Udenyi taps it. It's tapped out to check. Here's McCullough. Long three, no. Johnson thought about the triple. Urbina comes through. Reedus down low. Goes straight up. We're going to have a foul down low. I think they're going to get McCobb. No, they'll get Reedus.
Second foul on Ronnie Reedus.
So you got to go get Ronnie. I mean, how do you call that? We saw the replay just now, and they're trying to argue that the play was with the body down low, but Reedus was touching him all up top with the ball. (19-8). Ball don't lie. See it again here.
64%. Reedus looking pretty straight up there.
That's a rough whistle. Reedus comes off with 2 fouls. 10:47 to go, and an opportunity here for City College of San Francisco to go on a run with the big man for the Hornets on the bench. Second free throw off the mark. I guarantee you, Perry Webster said ball don't lie at some point after that miss. Bonner working against full court pressure here. They break it. Bonner turns on the Jets, nearly traveled. No, he did before he got it off to Coleman. Turned on the Jets, forgot about the breaks.
Missed free throws has been an issue for the Rams all season long. They've managed to avoid trouble here this weekend, able to escape with a couple of wins, but leaving some points on the board, a couple of misses there from Urbina.
Well, for the Hornets, still up by 11. Curry swings it over to Udenyi at the top. Urbina. High post, swing it over. Curry on the baseline. Here comes Vaj Rice. Jalen Moore trying to dig that out. Udenyi gets it out to Malcolm Johnson. Johnson, one dribble in, kicks it out to Urbina. Near side, Curry, another three. Yes!
Hey, Curry played just 12 minutes before fouling out yesterday. He's a key guy, brings a lot of energy.
Steal for Urbina. Urbina with the Euro step. The finish not there. Moore, no. Check with the rebound. Foul on Lance Coleman and one.
Rams want to pick up the pace. They bring it full court, get the steal.
And you see the effect of not having Ronnie Reedus inside manning the boards.
I think the Hornets have the pace they want right now. For the Rams, you want to get in a situation where the Hornets are tired in the final 10 minutes.
Exactly right. So more of attrition with the amount of depth at the disposal for the Rams. Trailing it by 6, make it 5 after the and one converted. It's a 6-0 run for CCSF. So Banks for the Hornets now with it. Here comes a trap. Coleman kicks it up ahead. This is Jalen Moore into a trapping situation. Banks has it. Great skip pass over to McCobb. McCobb thought about the three over to Banks. He has a triple looking inside to Vaj Rice. Great job by Curry denying. McCobb, open three over Urbina. Roderick McCobb.
McCobb, what a weekend he has had. Logging heavy minutes, tough defensive assignments, and he's hit a couple of big threes here in this one.
Had the toughest defensive assignment of the weekend. Moore trying to dig it out from Udenyi. Curry driving the lane, hands off. Udenyi on the doorstep, lays it in. Great offensive set for the Rams on that trip.
Boy, Curry doing exactly what you want somebody off the bench to do, coming in with a lot of intensity and changing the dynamic of the game.
Coleman nearly lost it. McCobb taps it to himself. We're going to have a foul called here. 16 foul on the Rams. So now, after this foul, we'll be in the bonus for the Hornets. We'll have a timeout on the floor called by Fullerton. This is going to be a 30, 9:03 to go. Take a short timeout ourselves. Back in a moment. Baseline out of bounds for the Hornets after the timeout. Rice kicks it over to Banks. They're looking inside for Lance Coleman. Coleman only with a couple here in this one. But the Hornets with a 6-point lead in the first half on top of the defending state champ City College of San Francisco. Rice fouled. What?
Well, there's a collision here. We'll get a look at the replay. Let's see if we don't know if we got the right side.
What exactly are we looking at here?
Yeah,
so
Winston
Rice comes and gets it. Is there an extension of the forearm there? So two players. Wait, so Jalen Moore collides into Vaj Rice.
The collision was with Deshaun Winston coming over.
Yeah, but Winston falls to the ground after the collision from Rice and Moore.
And McCullough ends up at the line.
Wow.
Second foul, meanwhile, on Vaj Rice. You got Reedus with 2. You got Vaj Rice with 2.
Wow.
So decision time, 8:45 to go in the first half. That's a long time, Michael. Your 2 big men both with 2 fouls.
You have to run the gamut here with Vaj Rice. Second free throw also good for McCullough. So Winston got collided and McCullough shot the free throws. I'm not entirely sure how that worked out.
Second foul on McCullough.
Savon Azizian, lead official here today, along with Johnny Harrington, Eddie Shannon.
So McCobb will head to the line.
1-1 here for Roderick. Off the back iron, Rice with an offensive board. Coleman from the top, way downtown, bang!
Okay, 23 feet plus, right where you want to be if you're Lance Coleman.
That's his spot, NBA range for sure. Mecca Udenyi looking to drive it up, powers in, swiped away by Jalen Moore. Ricketts able to gather and score.
Not what we were expecting, but right now the Rams with the decided advantage on the inside.
McCobb pulls up from 3. That's short. Went out of the floor of the offense. Ray Webster saying, you got to slow down here, son. McCullough pulls up, travel.
Yeah, I don't think that move that Austin McCullough is trying to do there is possible. It's pretty much called a travel every single time. When you do that fake on the move and then start a drive, that is a tough needle to thread to not get the travel call.
You got to get the ball down first. Even when you do that, it looks awkward. Dylan Banks with the shot, and he's fouled. The double team comes over. He's going to the line. The question is, were they going to give him 2 or 1-1? 2 shots coming to Dylan Banks.
First foul on Udenyi.
I would say it's something to monitor, but San Francisco goes so deep into their bench. First free throw rattles in. Banks not sure about it, but it falls.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Dylan. You got it. 81% foul shooter.
That's Perry Webster for Fullerton, just fired up. To keep the energy alive here. Understands that you can't have any lapses against this team. Saw what lapses can do in the Santa Monica game versus CCSF. They played 36 minutes of unbelievable basketball but folded down the stretch. Harris in the lane, fell down before he got the ball off. McCullough looking to throw it off of a player, off of Moore. And we have somebody get mixed up on the bench. Savon Azizian missed it. Wide open in the corner. Lance Coleman to the rack looking for the dunk, and it's blocked by Harris.
What a block by Harris. McCobb.
Steal. Coleman. 3. Off. McCullough came on the bench after the collision. Looks like he stepped on a player, and I think Omaje Smith took exception. We're going to have a foul on Austin Harris. So check that. That's Ricketts over the back. I wonder if we have that. See if I can get a nod here from. We do.
Yep.
So we're going to have a pretty good look of it. It looks like McCullough shoves a player on the bench, got shoved back, tangled up the feet. I guess 2 wrongs make a play on. Savannah Zizian didn't see it.
Yeah, and that's arguably a break for City College of San Francisco because McCullough clearly took a visible swipe, and I'm not assessing blame there as much as saying that's the kind of action that's going to get a whistle, and you'll see a technical call.
Yep. It's a great job by the bench of Fullerton, really maintaining the composure there. Banks lost it, trying to go up with it. I think he was trying to get it off to Coleman in the corner. This defense here from CCSF still trailing by 7. Winston into the short corner, looking for a spin move. Not there. McCobb, terrific defense on the ball. Curry can't give him too much room. Quick twitch to the rack. Layup off the mark. Gets the rebound off of the deflection, and Curry puts it in.
Yeah, Curry leery of Coleman there behind him and the shot block, and he just missed the point-blank layup, but great presence there to stay with it, get the rebound, and get the deuce.
Jalen Moore with it for the Hornets. Here's a good matchup to watch. Urbina and Lance Coleman. Coleman nearly lost the ball. Instead gets it out to Banks. 12 on the shot clock. Plenty of time here. Switch off here. McCullough now guarding Coleman. Coleman from way downtown. Oh, that was from the hash. Banks with the steal. 2-on-1 with McCobb if he hurries. Great transition defense. Banks with the finish. No. That's a great job by Winston getting back defensively for the Rams. Now with the ball for CCSF. To the rack. Winston, can he finish? No. McCobb taps it to Coleman. Get your track shoes on. You can maybe call a timeout here, and that's exactly what Perry Webster is going to do. 5:32 to go. The Hornets with a 5-point lead. You're watching Championship Sunday here on SoCal College Sports. A heated battle in the final between 2 1 seeds in the state of California and the 3C2A.
Yeah, we're just in the first half here, Michael. And think about the intensity we're going to get in the second half in this one.
I got a feeling there's going to be adjustment from both teams defensively and probably from the referees.
It's already bubbling here in the first half. We got a nice slow boil going.
Simmering for sure. Coleman inside. Rice will go to work under Denny. Little dream shake, step through. Still on the pivot. That's a great job of keeping the pivot and not traveling. Off to Banks. Banks pulls up, fade away from 15 feet. Dylan Banks.
Dylan Banks. This has been a big stretch for Dylan Banks in terms of staying aggressive when the Hornets need it.
Well, we touched on it. I think we were interrupted earlier by the play. Rice down low. Charge on Johnson.
Vaj Rice. That's just great anticipation on a baseline drive by Johnson. And that's what Vaj Rice does for this team.
He gets to the spot here. That's a great job by Vaj. See if he's outside of the area. He is.
Just gets there, yeah.
Heel on the line.
I tell you, that's a courageous play for Vaj Rice out there with 2 fouls, too. That could have easily been number 3 if he picks up the blocking call.
Initially, he had his feet outside. He reestablished with the right foot, and the back heel was on the line. So Fullerton gets away with one there. Up by 7. The turnover gives it back to the Hornets. Banks to the rack. Dylan Banks has been the star of the first half for the Hornets. He has 9. Curry turning the corner. Kicks out. Great movement. Winston in the corner. It's a 3. It's short. Curry with the rebound. Another possession for the Rams. Trying to get back into it. Curry all over the place. That shot off the mark. Rice trying to rebound. Throws it off of Malcolm Johnson. It's going to go back to Fullerton.
Couple of very good looks for the Rams on that set, but the shot's not falling.
Urbina comes off for Winston.
Three of 12 from 3 in the first half for City College of San Francisco. That's about par for the course, really, against Fullerton.
It really is. Nothing easy versus Fullerton. Banks, shaky handle, gives off to Vaj Rice. Over to McCobb. McCobb guarded by Curry. Roderick McCobb enters into the low post. Rice will give it another crack. The foul on Udenyi.
That'll be the second on Udenyi.
2 shots coming to Vaj Rice. Rice scoreless so far for the Hornets. I get the feeling that's going to change after this trip. Under 4 to go in the first half of the men's final championship Sunday here on SoCalCollegeSports.com in the 3C2A.
Both teams in the double bonus. Rice shoots 62% from the line.
Final game of the weekend will be 2 1 seeds with a combined 2 losses on the year. Moore Park and Diablo Valley DVC. 1 seeds from both the north and the south. First free throw good for Vaj Rice as he readies the second. That one in. The lead 11 for the Hornets. Remember, the Rams trailed by 15 at the half yesterday to Citrus. Before roaring back in the second, Rice jumps the passing lane, tapped out of bounds off of McCobb.
It's a sneaky play by Vaj Rice there. I think he's baiting that pass.
He really is.
And wants to jump in and see if he can steal it.
And he's saying, throw it, throw it, throw it. Jumps the passing lane. That's a great job. This team's so smart defensively. It's a product of great coaching. And Perry Webster, state runner-up a couple of years ago up at Las Positas to City College, or to San Diego City, excuse me, to win that tournament in the Final Four, beat City College of San Francisco. Got their revenge last year. That ball nearly lost by Urbina. Comes off the check. Alec Check off the glass. That one's in. Nice touch.
And Alec Check, one of those guys that just does all the little things for you. He played 38 minutes in the victory yesterday against Citrus.
Steal for Udenyi. He had one of those yesterday on a crossover. Here comes McCullough to the rack with the layup. A quick 4-0 run for CCSF after they had trailed by 11.
I think the pressure really behooves the Rams in this matchup. You watch the first half.
Banks picks up the dribble, gives off to Jalen Moore up ahead of the timeline. Banks holding at the top, gets a screen from Coleman. Switched off. Denny guarding. Now over to McCobb. Down low in the post. This is where Lance Coleman wants to operate. Fade away for Lance Coleman. That's money every day.
There's just so much the Hornets can do in a half-court set.
You can't let Coleman get to his spot. That's one of them. Johnson through traffic. He's fouled. The help's got to be there faster from Banks. Dillon just picked up his 3rd foul. So as good as he's been here in the first half, foul trouble, a real problem. Of course, he's spelling Omaje Smith, dealing with that ailment that we mentioned earlier. Did not play in the Thursday win over Santa Rosa. Labored through the win yesterday, and now Omaje Smith will have to come on the floor for Dylan Banks. 2:38 to go. It's a full timeout on the floor. 9-point lead for the Hornets. Malcolm Johnson. 2 shots coming. He has 3 points in this one. Pretty quiet.
Yeah, Johnson ended up with 15 points to go along with 12 rebounds. The victory over Citrus yesterday, but he has a kind of quiet style. You don't really notice him doing it. And then you look up at the end and you see a productive scoreline more often than not.
If his team's doing well, you know he's having a good game. not doing well when he hits that line, and they're down. Johnson off the front iron, rebounded by Harris. Johnson thought about it on the three. Two from out there. Urbina guarded by Coleman down low. Coleman gets away with a bump. Urbina out to check from three. Solid check off the mark. Raj Rice falls to the floor. Looks like he might have been bumped by Harris. The ball falls off to Winston. Over to Urbina. Bluffs at the three. Drives the lane. Kicks out. Harris with the fake. Moore with the steal. Jalen Moore on the other end. Lays it up. Misses the layup. A little bit too fast there. Johnson now back the other way. Checks with the layup, and Raj Rice with 2 fouls cannot challenge.
That is the 4-point turnaround right there. If you're Fullerton College, good look for Moore. Can't convert, and the Rams quickly back the other way.
Cobb being dogged here by Malcolm Johnson. They get it to Lance Coleman. Coleman nearly had it swiped away by Urbina. Urbina trying to sell a foul. Coleman in the lane. 8-footer no good. Rebound off to Harris. Now Johnson. Johnson with it for CCSF. Urbina trailing the play here. Johnson on the dribble, working against McCobb, looking to spin back middle. Nothing there. Johnson down low with the reverse layup. Not there. He's fouled. And one! Malcolm Johnson!
We talked about the double-double yesterday. This is Malcolm Johnson's game. Quick leaper, doesn't get the roll on the first attempt, but he's the first off the floor to get that offensive rebound, turns it into a 3-point opportunity.
6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. The 3 earlier. Honor going to check into the ball game here. The Hornets. We're going to come on for Lance Coleman. Now Coleman just picked up his first. Check that. That foul was called on Jalen Moore. We're going to bring off Coleman. If he has a foul here. So Coleman has 2 fouls. And that's a great job by Perry Webster understanding the situation in the heat of battle with 1:20 remaining here in the first half. You don't have the outlet here offensively, but you preserve the foul trouble.
No Reedus, no Coleman, no Banks. And
Omaje
that means
Smith
Omaje Smith
will take the reins.
There's perhaps a silver lining here if you're Fullerton, in that Omaje Smith picked up the 2 fouls early. He's battling an illness this weekend. Can't quite log the same minutes in this one, but he gets the long stint on the bench. So now he comes in at a moment when you really need someone to step up. He's completely fresh off the bench and immediately able to drive to the rim and get himself to the line.
Free throw up and good.
Seldom will foul trouble really work for you, Michael, in the game of basketball, but on rare occasions, sometimes provides a small benefit.
It's up by 5, make it 6. Omaje Smith pushes that one through. Check on the far side, driving the lane, gives off to Johnson. Johnson pulls up, trailing the play over to Urbina. Also Urbina enters in. This is Harris turning and facing on Raj Rice with the right-handed dribble. Back to Urbina, top of the key 3. Hits glass first. Winston flies for the rebound. And another possession for CCSF. Moore going to have to pick up here. Winston a threat from 3. Austin Harris. Harris will pull up from 3 off the mark. Trying to sell the foul more than shoot the basketball, and it went wide left. 8-second difference from the shot clock and the game clock, and if that was a turnover on Omaje Smith, is that going to be a charge?
I think they just lost the ball.
No, they will rule it's a charge on Omaje Smith. 3rd foul on Maj.
That's a huge call. Dylan Banks with 3 now. Omaje Smith with 3. And the Hornets battling real foul trouble now. Coleman with 2. Reedus with 2. Raj Rice with 2.
Shot clock and game clock essentially identical here. Curry on the dribble. Expect San Francisco is going to want to hold here for the final shot. Probably get into it in about 12 seconds. No. Letting this one go down. Curry with it. He might just pull up from there for Codrick to come out on him. Comes a screen, switched off. Rice on Curry. Curry fading away. That was well off the mark. Harris with the rebound. Point blank. Layup up no good. Rebounded by Bonner. Will go in at the half. The Hornets with a 6-point lead. Battle of 1 seeds in the men's final. The 3C 2A 2019 basketball championship.
It's more than March. It's kinship, resilience, trust. It's love, a feeling of purpose, pure. It's your ode of honor, a melody of madness, until only one remains. The lights go dim, the crowd's roaring, but it's only you. You are the game.
Halftime here from Ventura, 37-31. First half dominated by the Hornets, but CCSF able to close the gap at the end of the first half. Foul trouble plaguing the Fullerton 1 seed from the south.
Yeah, 3 fouls for Banks, 3 fouls for Majay Smith. So there's your 2 point guards right there. So it's going to be a challenge for Perry Webster in the second half. And look for guys like Harrison Bonner, Jalen Moore, who's one of the starters, but some of the more role players to step up into bigger roles potentially in this second half as we move forward. Meanwhile, for City College of San Francisco, I think it's a good news, bad news. You're not in a real bad spot here, down 6. You have the other team in foul trouble, but the Hornets are so tough and they're so good in tight games that this is still going to be a bit of a mountain to climb. Justin LeBeau's got some adjustments to make.
He's got some adjustments to make, but I don't know how do you adjust. When Ronnie Reedus is on the floor, his plus-minus has to be like plus 20 right now because they're getting anything they want, and conversely, CCSF not getting anything they want. It's a lot of bailout jumpers, settling from the mid-range, settling from deep. They're not getting to the rack with good reason. Ronnie Reedus a beast down low, but when he's out of the game, it's a different story.
You know, Mike, when this game is a half-court game, it's one game, and when it's an up-and-down contest, it's a completely different game. It seems really straightforward. What the Hornets can do in the half-court set, I just don't think the Rams can allow this to be a walk-it-up half-court game. They're going to have to increase the pressure, try and create more of a track meet here in the second half.
Yeah, they're going to have to do exactly that. Reedus, when he's in working against the pressure, when they're working against the press, they install him in the middle of the floor. He's so good at being a great big target in the middle of the floor versus that press, and he reverses the ball very, very well, especially for a big.
Would that it were just Reedus. Coleman in the low post has presented a problem, and frankly, keeping Dylan Banks from getting to the front of the rim is proving to be a problem for the Rams. Going to have to change the dynamic here, at least somewhat, and luckily for the Rams, as the deeper team in a little bit less foul trouble, that also fits into their plans well. So let's see if they try to up the pressure, create a different dynamic.
They had some success when they sped up the tempo, but that was with Reedus off of the floor, and let's see if they can have some success, sped up tempo, but with Reedus out there. We'll find out, and I think really the king of this ball game will be, can you maintain with foul trouble for the Hornets? I think if they do that, that's your new champion. Find out in a minute.
Let's see in 20 minutes.
We'll find out in a minute. Start of the second half coming up. The second half, 37-31. Hornets with possession. Monjay Smith backdoor looking for Coleman. Swiped away by Malcolm Johnson. Great diagnosis on that play call.
Yeah, Johnson with 3 steals yesterday, and he's just a terrific on-ball and off-ball defender.
Terrific defensive instincts. They're looking for a baseline runner. That's Winston. Same starting fives for both teams. Reedus with his 3rd foul.
Boy, and you hate to see that 30 feet from the basket. If you're Fullerton in this situation, and I think if you're Ronnie Reedus, just maybe need to be a little more aware of the situation in the game.
You see a pained Perry Webster. And the reaction to that, shade of red, getting a lot more full here for Perry.
Reedus going to stay on the floor.
Got to have him establish some rhythm down low, and Urbina forcing the issue. Wow. That's going to be a technical foul on Urbina, I think.
Yeah. Initially, it's the 4th foul on Omaje Smith. And then you see a little elbow here. I think Smith kind of follows him just a little bit. And then, just Urbina, just a quick push off there. And I don't think you need that if you're City College of San Francisco.
You really don't need that because now it's a potential zero-sum. You were going to get to the free throw line.
Yeah.
Instead, you throw a little bit of an elbow at the elbow. You just don't need it.
Yeah, that's exactly true. And I think if you're Urbina in that situation, sometimes it's just better to just turn your back and walk away. You got what you wanted out of the situation, but instead he lets maybe his emotions get the better of him here, and he elects to retaliate.
You know, he plays on emotion, he plays on passion, but you have to be able to control that. And he's going to have to work on, obviously, a Division I talent. You see the athleticism, you see the talent on full display. And I wonder, let's Perry Webster talking about here? Is he talking about?
Well, yeah, Omaje Smith walked away, and he was clearly upset about something too. So let's wait and see how this plays out.
Is this a double technical jump ball situation?
Meanwhile, one other thing to note here is Urbina's had a very tough first half. 0 of 4 from the floor, and I think he's not accustomed to having a team defend him quite this well.
Free throw up and good for Walter Urbina. Urbina finally on the board here for CCSF. Well, Coach Perry Webster and Reedus picks up that early foul here in the second half. You saw the struggles that your team had with Reedus on the bench at the end of the first, and I think you have to establish some type of rhythm with him out there.
So now that's the 2 free throws for the foul on Omaje Smith.
Coleman on the technical foul free throws. Second one up and good as well. Over 90%, I believe, on the season is Lance Coleman.
That is correct.
Do they go to the arrow here after the double foul, the personal and the technical? No. Okay, so it's going to be Hornet ball. And Reedus. Just looking for a lifeline here. Finally has Dylan Banks. Kick back to McCobb. Here's Coleman. Ball fake. 3 from the top. Lance Coleman. Urbina down low working against Reedus. Great job there. Up top. Johnson. Alley-oop from Winston.
From Winston, the touch alley-oop.
39-35. Coleman lost it out of bounds. Johnson getting the better of that matchup now.
It's a precarious moment in this game for the Hornets. I think they're a little bit frustrated with the foul trouble right now. The Rams are hanging around. Somebody needs to step up, make a couple of plays, regain the momentum for the Hornets.
Pace still favors Fullerton at the moment. And now San Francisco within striking distance. Johnson from 3 off the mark. Reedus with the board. Reedus off to McCobb. McCobb now in transition. San Francisco back. Hornets will operate in the half court. Coleman in the short corner. Turn and face zone. Go to the post-up game. Back him up. Ooh, I thought Coleman got away with the shuffle there. Entered in over the top of Urbina. That's going to be a tough pass looking for Reedus. Banks, turnaround jumper. Foul on Reedus, just picked up his 4th.
And down goes Urbina. We'll see if we maybe have a replay on that.
Yeah, Reedus threw him to the ground.
And here comes Vaj Rice, and it's going to be a long stint on the bench here, Michael, for Ronnie Reedus.
You have to weather the storm here if you're the Hornets, and you're going to need some timely shooting. If you're Fullerton, Omaje Smith on the bench with 3 fouls, Reedus with 4, Vaj Rice with 3, Coleman, Urbina lost it out of bounds. Back to the Hornets it'll go.
Yeah, what can carry you through here is your defense. You got to keep putting in the effort on the defensive end.
Hornets, remember, still with a 4-point lead. Well, if anything right now you have more ball handlers on the floor, so against the press, that does help you. Moore kicks back to Banks. Banks trailing the play, now back to Moore. Jalen Moore reverses it. McCobb now with it, driving the baseline on McCullough. Layup up and good for Roderick McCobb.
Well, this is what McCobb does for the Hornets. He's the all-everything guy. Just what you need, big bucket.
Winston on the perimeter, looking to enter inside. McCobb now guarding Urbina. Urbina with the travel. Hornets lead back out to 6. So far, so good with Ronnie Reedus on the bench with 4 fouls for the Hornets. McCobb, I'd like to see him just step up. Instead, it enters into Rice. Rice into traffic, blocked by Johnson.
Yeah, Rice, the lefty, trying to get to the other side
Johnson
for the reverse.
Yeah. Johnson inside of McCullough, guarded by Vaj Rice, operating with the 3 fouls. McCullough up and under, move with the layup.
And I believe that's about the 6th takedown for Austin McCullough in this one. He has spent a lot of time on the floor.
Very familiar with the hardwood indeed. Banks dribbling away from pressure. McCobb pull up from 15. Instead off to Jalen Moore from 3. Long rebound off to Urbina. It's on the floor. Oh, Whitson traveled. Off to McCullough now. Check. Gonna be a blocking foul on Dylan Banks.
Well, I'll tell you that is a bailout foul. Dylan Banks is hot.
He's got 4.
But Alec Check is in all kinds of trouble on this drive. He ends up actually tossing it in, but...
Did they give him the bat? No, they're going to say it's on the floor. Baseline out of bounds. Banks off. Bonner back into the mix for Fullerton. Bonner, Coleman, Moore, Rice, and McCobb on the floor for the Hornets. Dale Curry checks in along with Austin Harris. Harris guarded by Vaj Rice. Contact down low, no call. Rice holds his ground. Hornets with it, up by 4. Moore turning a corner over to Bonner. Bonner looking for Coleman. That's his spot. It was in the first half, working on Udenyi. Foul on Udenyi down low. Second team foul on City College of San Francisco.
That's a good adjustment from Coleman. He's gone to the fadeaway. That time he fakes the fadeaway. Udenyi leans forward. Coleman able to create the contact and pick up the foul.
He bid on it, that's for sure. Coleman setting a screen for Bonner, looking down low. No, they go to Moore. Moore fell down. He's going to have a wide open 3 instead. Down to Rice in the short corner in the low block, and this is going to be a foul on Ricketts. Bodying up. You can't extend the forearm.
Third team foul on City College of San Francisco, the second on Ricketts.
Similar set here. Going to Coleman. Nope. Looking outlet here to Bonner. Bonner. Raj Rice with the bucket.
Bonner able to get into the lane again and find Rice.
Inside, Udenyi with perfect position. Shot up, no good. Udenyi going for his miss. It's on the floor. Udenyi has it. Over to Harris. Harris to Curry. Curry to the bucket. Blocked by Bonner.
17 on the shot clock. So it's
Shot clock didn't reset. Curry gets one up. That one off the mark, rebounded by Bonner. Doing everything on that trip defensively for the Hornets. Off to McCobb. Great transition defense here from San Francisco. Up top, Moore comes free. From 3, Jalen Moore!
Moore, a sharpshooter. Second 3 in the ball game.
Udenyi into the lane, shot up off the front of the rim, rolls off. We're going to have a foul down low. It's going to go against Ricketts or Coleman, and Jalen Moore and Austin Harris get into it.
Well, Coleman was on the floor. Is this going to be Moore, maybe for a hold?
See if we have it here. We will.
It's going to be Coleman, looks like. Okay.
Oh, this is the block earlier from Bonner. Moore with the 3.
Third foul on Coleman, and you already got 3 players with 4 fouls if you're Fullerton. I'd say the next player that comes off the bench is going to be a player that has not appeared in the postseason for the Hornets.
A 30-second timeout called here by Fullerton. Up by 9, 15 to go, 46-37. It's the men's final from Ventura in the 3C2A. Got to enter inbound to Johnson. Johnson missed the layup. Bonner secures a rebound for the Hornets. The Hornets have been able to extend on a 4-point lead. Jalen Moore with a 4-point play.
That's exactly what the Hornets needed. Momentum maybe slipping away a few minutes ago. You need players to make plays. How about Moore with potentially 7 points in a row? Pushes it back out to double digits.
Lonnie Reed is getting into it with Austin McCullough. We're going to have a technical foul called on somebody from the bench of Fullerton. I wonder if this is going to be a bench technical. What's the conversation going to be? I think there's going to be a technical foul called against the Hornets. 4-point play, 3-point basket is good, but they have not posted it to the scoreboard. Should be 49-37 after Moore buried the triple. We're going to...
Partially obscured, it looked like on that.
So we'll have a pretty good shot of it. Maybe go ahead and run it here, Emery. Moore just pulls up. McCullough into him. Reedus defending his boy. Came off of the bench, but I don't know if he left the black area. Okay, we're going to have a ruling here. Moore with the triple, just so huge. Oh, Reedus. Oh, man. If that's on Reedus, that's going to be a technical foul already with 4, and that's going to take Ronnie Reedus out of the ball game. If the technical foul, and that was in the ear of the referee in addition to Austin McCullough, Harry Webster trying to make a case for it, but Reedus really up against it here in terms of circumstance.
Yeah, as you take a look at the replay there, you can see that it's directed right at McCullough of the Rams, and that's what catches the ear and eye of the ref.
Trent Webster shaking his head. That might have ended the season for Ronnie Reedus. Well, if you remember, there was an exchange earlier in this ball game where Austin McCullough went into the bench and turned around, and it looked like he either shoved or hit somebody in the face. And then somebody tripped him up coming off of the bench, and that's where that play stemmed from. Ronnie Reedus has just fouled out of this ball game. Just received a technical foul. 1 of 2 on the technical fouls, I believe, for Austin McCullough. Is that correct, Story? I lost track of that.
2 out of 2 for
2 out of 2, excuse me. Okay, it was going to be a 12-point lead. 2 free throws, and now a 4-point play opportunity here for Jalen Moore. Trying to clean all of that up. It's a 10-point lead for the Hornets. Can they hold on? Their big man gone for the rest of the game. Johnson in the corner. Curry driving the lane. Bonner with the foul. Curry off the mark on the layup, but he'll have 2 shots coming his way.
I think the challenge for the Hornets here is, can they use this as maybe a little us against the world type of mentality to ride an emotional wave for the last 15 minutes here. Maybe this is something that can work for them. You know the Rams are going to try and up the intensity here to try and cut into this deficit.
I think you maybe think about taking a timeout right now, depending on what happens on these free throws. 1 of 2 maybe. First one off the mark. On a made free throw, you taking a timeout? No. Curry Webster saying let's box out here.
Curry shoots 56% from the line.
Got to pin down on Udenyi, so dangerous in these spots. That one's short. Curry left the free throw stripe too early. Violation on Dale Curry, so it goes back to the Hornets up 10 with 14:38 remaining. Championship final of the 3C2A.
And the Rams 8 of 15 from the line as a team.
Bonner comes free into the corner. Udenyi on the ball. Bonner brings it up ahead, gets past Emeka Udenyi into the corner. Lance Coleman working against Dale Curry. Coleman, oh, great move from the elbow, fade away, long off the rebound. McCobb into it, he's tripped up by Udenyi. 15 foul. You know, and Perry Webster's talking about if you're going to call a T on my guy for that, how are you not calling a T or an intentional foul on the trip here?
That's the 4th foul on Udenyi.
Obviously, that's a big development for City College in San Francisco, regardless of how deep they go. He's a big part of what they do defensively. Urbina will come back in. Baseline out of bounds for the Hornets. Bonner looking to come through, and this could be a foul on McCullough. That's his 4th. We have a pretty big foul total yesterday in one of our games. Now, 40 fouls combined. We still have 14:21 to go. Moore coming off. We need to inbound. 5 seconds on McCobb.
Hornets have just 3 timeouts left, and with 14:21 to go, McCobb doesn't want to take a timeout there. Instead, turns it over.
Urbina at the top. Over to Winston. Winston bluffed at the 3. Spins middle. 15-footer. Winston off the mark. McCobb up high for the rebound.
Great on-ball defense, Roderick McCobb.
Too much one-on-one from Winston and CCSF. And the Fullerton Hornets will take that. Under 14 to go.
Don't have Reedus on the floor if you're Fullerton, but still getting the ball into the lane back outside your 3-point shooters.
Coleman from 3. This is going to be on Urbina. Urbina boxing out on Vaj Rice. It looks like he maybe got tangled up.
Yeah, he might have come down awkwardly on an ankle there.
I think he came down awkwardly because he was trying to sell the cloth. So Urbina just picked up his 3rd. 17 foul on CCSF. Well, we saw in a couple chat boxes for their games for CCSF, some of the calls are a little questionable. I'll clean that up. When they go against a team that's facing CCSF. I'm sure if I looked at the chat box right now, there would be some descriptions to not refute that, but to confirm it, using other wording. Missed free throw on the front end. Johnson back the other way, one-on-one. Coleman with a rebound. Winston nearly went over the back. McCobb back the other way. One-on-one with Dale Curry. Inside, that one swiped away, and McCobb able to recover and lay it in. 12-point lead for the Hornets, 13:30 to go.
McCobb, coast to coast. He's been so efficient on both ends of the floor. 4 of 6 from the field.
Johnson down low, powering in over Coleman. That layup off the mark. Coleman with the rebound. Hornets holding their own down low, minus their big man for the rest of the way.
Even without Reedus, such a strong rebounding team, it's often one and done against Fullerton. Makes it hard to go on a run.
Coleman going to set the screen for Moore. Switched off on by Johnson. Moore versus the state player of the year in the North. Get the matchup they want with Coleman down low. Raj Rice in at the elbow. Will have to fire with the shot clock coming down. Curry with the rebound. Urbina down low, working for position. That's an offensive foul. Whoa! Wow! Urbina.
Well, Rice goes down, and again, for those that have been following all weekend, that the post defender going down has not brought a call so far this weekend in any game. That one was certainly close, but Rice fitting into the pattern, he ends up picking up the foul, not Urbina, so Urbina to the line for a couple of free throws.
Exactly right there, Stoy. Referees keeping it consistent. .41 to go. CCSF trailing by 12. Remember yesterday, we said earlier, they trailed Citrus 15 at the half, roared back in the second, forced overtime. Eventually found their way here into Sunday. First free throw off of the mark.
Third foul on Vaj Rice, and obviously his importance gets even higher with Reedus having fouled out.
Reedus fouled out. Rajay Smith with 4 fouls. Dylan Banks with 4 fouls. A skeleton crew on the court right now for the Hornets. Second free throw was good. Timeout called by CCSF, trailing by 11. 12:41 to go. Drama here from Ventura. It's an 11-point lead for the Hornets, but their big man, Ronnie Reedus, done for the ball game, fouled out. Full court pressure set up out of the timeout by San Francisco. Looking for Bonner deep. Get it to him. Instead, they go to McCobb, and McCobb will board off press. For Coleman in the post. Instead, Raj Rice burst around. That pass nearly stolen by Winston. Winston keeps it alive, but right to Vaj Rice. 12 on the shot clock. Moore comes free. Another triple. No, that one's short. Rice with the rebound. McCobb up top. Around check, but the left-handed layup not there. An athletic play by Roderick McCobb. Just can't finish. Dale Curry on the other end with the layup.
Yeah, Curry allowed to go coast to coast there. Nobody picks up the ball. Ends up going all the way to the basket.
Well, you have to figure that last time out by the Rams, Justin Lawal saying we have to attack here, especially with them in foul trouble. Urbina is going to be whistled for his 4th foul.
McCullough has 4, Udenyi has 4, and now Urbina has 4.
We go back to that 4-point play here from Jalen Moore and the technical foul that ended the season for Ronnie Reedus. Now remember, here in college basketball, when you receive a technical foul, that counts as a personal foul as well. He was on the bench with 4 fouls, and just an incredibly unfortunate circumstance for the Hornets, but they do have a 9-point lead. Bonner can extend on that with a couple free throws. First one's good.
Harrison Bonner has not seen extended action at all in this State 8 until today, but this has been a terrific performance when the Hornets needed it.
He's a rangy, kind of wiry athlete. Matches up pretty well versus San Francisco. Not a lot of bulk, but he's been doing very well, especially in the rebounding department for the Hornets. 2-3 zone look. They're in at the high post. Good job by Rice shading there. They get it to Johnson. Inside, stolen by Bonner. McCobb the other way. Up for the jam, Roderick McCobb. 13-point lead for the Hornets at 55-42.
McCobb in double figures in this one. He struggled from the field last night.
Winston from 3 to respond. Wow!
Winston averages over 13 a game. He's got 5 here tonight, but that's a big 3.
And leave him. Create some noise in front of him when he has it at the top. Coleman picks up his rebound. Bonner with an outlet. Bonner gets a screen from Lance. Gets one back on Johnson. There's the switch. They enter into the low post. This is Coleman's spot. It's punched away by Johnson. The Hornets in the bonus. 1-and-1 coming to Lance Coleman the second.
And I have to imagine, Michael, that was in the scouting report when the Rams talked about this game, defending Lance Coleman.
First free throw swished home.
The importance of not allowing him to pick up easy points from the line.
McCobb with 12, Coleman now with 10 after that made free throw. Dylan Banks with 9, Jalen with 5. Reedus with 6 done for the night. Second free throw also good. Back to a 12-point lead for the Hornets. Coming up, midway point here in the second half. San Francisco needing to flip the switch. Winston, another three. Yes! Deshaun Winston now with 8 points.
Great job, Deshaun Winston, sensing the moment, knows players make big plays. And he needs to step up and help get his team back into this game.
Lead down to single digits for Fullerton after another made three for Deshaun Winston. The travel here from Lance Coleman, trying to enter it into the ball twice. And you see the lacking of a sense of identity there between having Reedus on the floor and Vaj Rice on the floor. Obviously, Rice very capable, but Reedus able to create a lot more space down there. Coleman doesn't have the space that time, a little flustered by it, and he traveled. Johnson entered in from Curry, layup up and good. That's a terrific post entry by Dale Curry. Under 10 to go, the Hornets up by 7. 2019 CCCAA basketball championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Championship Sunday. Bonner, no man's land at the elbow, gives off to Jalen Moore. Moore, guarded by Cech. Crossover, lost his footing, off to Vaj Rice. 6 on the shot clock, shot is blocked. Coleman taps it out of bounds, going back to the Rams.
Well, too much of that offensive set takes place about 25 to 30 feet from the basket. And you got to give the Rams a lot of credit for the defensive pressure. The Hornets not able to get into the offensive zone where they could even create an open shot.
Winston has stepped up big here for the Rams. McCullough off of his hands and out of bounds. Bonner defending.
And the Hornets in this situation, like the whole game, don't forget who you are. It's a bit of a struggle, but you keep playing defense. That can get you to the finish line.
Hornets back with possession. Banks operating with the 4 fouls on the floor. Enters into Rice. Great move down low. Rice can't finish. Vaj Rice is fouled. By Winston.
Mike,
that's a good call.
This is such a great move by Vaj Rice, but it's so hard to have the body control to locate the rim up in the air like that and get the finish. It's decidedly more difficult than it looks, I'm sure, and Rice can't quite get himself oriented to the rim, just missed the layup, but keeps on battling. Gets the ball and ultimately gets to the line.
Rice. Free throw up and good on the first. Fullerton in the double bonus the rest of the way. Both teams in the bonus, 1-1 for CCSF.
Rice, 4 points, 4 rebounds.
Beat me to it.
At least 1 charge taken. That's a stat that should really be up on the live stats, just for Vaj Rice.
That one off of the back iron also. 58-50. Under 9 to go here in the championship final. In the men's bracket, McCullough out front, enters into Harris. Harris, McCullough, Winston at the top. McCullough with a hand up. Winston, hard shot. Over the back by Johnson, no. Coleman on the floor for the rebound with Johnson. There's a scrum for it. Jump ball favor in the direction of San Francisco. Terrific job by everyone on our crew this weekend. Emory Johnson, Ryan Wilmore, Mike Nahar, Jorge Zepeda, John Gotti, Terrell Handy Johnson. Special thanks to them. This broadcast would not be what it is without them. Just 2 talking heads up here. Of course, the talent on the floor here throughout the CCCAA basketball championships. Broadcasting line from Ventura College. McCullough comes free from 3. Bonner late getting there. The lead down to 5 for the Hornets.
First 3 for McCullough, and it's all set up by Johnson's penetration.
Winston guarding McCobb. McCobb going to get a screen from Rice, switching everything out front. Coleman guarded by McCullough down low. This is money in the bank here for Coleman. Coleman off the mark, though. Rebounded on the weak side by Barnum. Banks, he thought about the three. Rice defending, poked away by Harris. It's going to stay with the Hornets, 24 on the shot clock.
Well, we already saw Lance Coleman take over down the stretch in a major way Thursday night, scoring the last 12 points to bring the Hornets from 7 down. I'd like to see Coleman look to take over right here, but also Dylan Banks needs to recover a little of that aggressiveness that he had in the first half. I thought he was an offensive spark plug for the Hornets.
No Ronnie Reedus the rest of the way, and you suspect that even more so than what he's already done down the stretch. You're exactly right, Stoy. Coleman going to have to come up huge. Banks operating with the 4 fouls for Fullerton. Has it right now, hand it off. Great back door. McCobb with the layup. Great execution. Isolation on that side of the floor.
Or you can get just what you need from Roderick McCobb, just like all season.
McCobb leading the way for Fullerton. He has 14. Curry from 3.
Great job of being ready to shoot, Dale Curry.
Dale Curry has it down to a 4-point advantage for the Hornets, and here come the Rams. Within striking distance, this has really been their MO throughout the championships. Banks, back to Rice, handed back to Banks. Coleman, Udeni not fighting on that one. Bonner thought about the 3. Udeni guarding Coleman. McCobb, this is going to be a foul on Harris or McCullough. Raj Rice is going to be shooting 2. And if you're Fullerton, you got to make your free throws. Rice going to the line right now.
The Hornets, as a team, one of the better free throw shooting teams in the 3C2A.
Rice just missed his last free throw.
They were 3rd in the 3C2A, 76% as a team. But none of them bigger than the ones coming up here in the next 7 minutes.
.46 fouls already called combined in this one. Do they look up to the announcer's booth for anybody to sub in if everybody fouls out?
I know you're ready.
I'm wearing wingtips, Stoy.
That's just how good you are.
Well, the Hornets could use a big man right now, that's for sure. First free throw good for Vaj Rice, 61-56. So ready's the second. Takes a little bit off of it, switches that one in. 7:05 to go here in the men's final. After this, it's DVC and Moore Park for the women.
Hornets right about on percentage, 16 of 21 from the line as a team.
Winston off the mark. Coleman and McCobb nearly bobbled that one out of bounds. Instead, Coleman brings it down, guarded by Udeni. Udeni with 4 fouls. Urbina just fouled out. So Walter Urbina done for the night. And Perry Webster and Justin LeVar are having a laugh about it, and they can't believe some of the whistles that are coming from the referees. A little bit all over the place.
Yeah, it's hard to know if Banks maybe just a little bit of heady play there, trying to create a little contact, or if he just happened to stagger. But either way, he lost his footing, and Urbina kind of ran up on him, ends up with the contact, picks up the foul.
You know, I mentioned the consistency earlier. What I meant on that play is the consistent non-flop call on the play earlier by Urbina versus Vaj Rice. In this game, the referees have really been up and down in terms of what they're calling, and the refereeing throughout the weekend has been pretty good. A little bit of a struggle here in the men's final.
I think also, if we were to talk degree of difficulty in terms of games to be officiated, would you rank this one up pretty high in terms of the athleticism and the physical play out there between two teams? I think really letting it all hang out there.
You know, I spoke with some referees earlier in the week, and talking about the CCSF Santa Monica game, 2 physical teams, and these are 2 physical teams. Winston again from 3, in and out. And you know, obviously the thing is, when you're refereeing physical teams, you are going to be all over the place because you have to constantly be changing your threshold, your whistle threshold, I think is what was referred to. That Coleman lowers his shoulder. Udenyi trying to draw it, not called, but Winston with the steal. No look over to McCullough. McCullough backing up to the free throw line or to the three-point line, has it blocked by Bonner. Winston guarded by Coleman, pulls up from three. Winston short. There's a warning or a technical foul here. Savan Azizian pointed to the scorer's table.
On the previous possession, Coleman really got his shoulder into Udenyi.
But Udenyi,
I have to suspect that that's the call that Justin Laval wanted, but we haven't seen that call this weekend, so I don't think he could be surprised not to get it.
So that instance, that's been called pretty consistent.
It's a little bit of a break for the Rams that it wasn't called against Udenyi, who's out there with 4 fouls.
For Bonner, turn back, yep. They go to Banks. Banks up ahead with it. They're going to milk some clock, up by 8. Coming up on the 5-minute mark here in the second half. Fullerton College Hornets so close here to a title. Vaj Rice trying to bully in. Left-handed shot, no good. Rebound tapped around off of check to Curry. Foul on Rice, and if that's Rice, that's number 4.
Well, I'll tell you, before that play, that was terrific post defense by Harris. A great adjustment, knowing that Rice was going to come back to his left. And yeah, now the two of them are just kind of mixed up with each other. And we're seeing an awful lot of whistles on those kinds of plays. And I imagine that's frustrating for both sides.
Yeah, and getting back to the point about the referees talking about refereeing physical teams, this is a hard game to officiate. So this is an all-star crew that's on the floor right now. And, you know, we've talked about it. It's been a bit of a struggle, but the whistles are going to be all over the place based on the tenor of the game. And first front end for Harris, good on the 1-and-1.
Harris has struggled offensively in this one. That's his first point. Go with 4 rebounds.
Second free throw good from Harris.
Every point going to be so critical, particularly for the Rams, who still trail it.
Trail it by 6 now. Banks brings it up for the Hornets. Dylan Banks gets a screen from Coleman. Coleman guarded one-on-one by Check, gives off to Bonner. Coleman going to go into the low post. Check, nice job guarding him, forcing him outside. Back door here by McCobb. McCobb's going to be fouled and going to the line for 2.
Yeah, Curry is going to reach out and hold there, and I think better to send McCobb to the line and make him earn it there than give him what would have been the easy 2 points.
Roderick McCobb, best player on the floor here today for Fullerton. 14 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. He's such a versatile athlete and very quick and a good shooter. And you have to respect his range from 3, so that's why you see some of the defense in the passing lanes. You don't necessarily want him to come free cleanly from the 3-point line, but that'll open up the back door a couple times. We've seen a layup, and that time fouled, hits on the front end of that free throw trip.
Well, McCobb deserved hazard pay for having to chase Skylar Chavez around for about 40 minutes. And the victory over Santa Rosa on Thursday night, and he draws another tough assignment. He's been matched up with McCullough quite a bit here in this one.
McCullough, guarded by Bonner this time. Udenyi comes through, guarded by Rice. Johnson, player of the year. McCobb on defense, trying to reverse it. It's tapped in traffic, and Bonner comes away with it for the Fullerton Hornets.
Yeah, McCobb with another stop defensively. Matched up with Johnson that time.
McCobb swings through, looking for Coleman, looking for Rice down low. No man's land, gives off to Coleman. Under 10 on the shot clock. Coleman can get his own versus Udenyi. McCobb going to have to make something happen here. Oh, that's a great fadeaway jumper from McCobb. Roderick now with 18.
That's a big-time shot and a double-digit lead for the Hornets.
7 of 10 from the field. Double-digit lead for Fullerton. McCullough from 3 to respond. Blocked. Udenyi down low and 1. Vaj Rice just fouled out.
Reed is fouled out. Now Rice fouled out. So 4 minutes left, and Perry Webster's going to have to go small here with his lineup.
No Reedus, no Baj Rice. We'll have a timeout called here. Full? Yes, we do. Get the word from Savannah's easy. 68-60, 4:05 to go. Hornets closing in. Mecca Udenyi. Chance to go to the free throw line here to convert on an and one opportunity.
His first free throws.
38%, banks one in.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, they'll take it for sure. Roderick McCobb, likely your tournament MVP up to this point. He has 18 points in this one for the Hornets. Fullerton milking the clock down the stretch. Banks to the rack. A lot of contact from Udenyi. No call made.
Yeah, Udenyi playing with 4 fouls. Danger territory.
Johnson to the rack. Some contact down low. They're letting him play a little bit. We're going to have a shot called late. This is going to be on Banks, his 5th. He's fouled out.
Well, there was definitely some contact there as he went by. The whistle came kind of surprisingly late, but you see the contact on Johnson.
I don't think it's a wrong call. I think you can be upset with the whistle, and I think the reason why the official down low did not call that. See, the reason why I would be frustrated if I'm Perry Webster is because that is not that official's call to make. The official down on the baseline has an incredibly great view of it. That's his call.
Yep.
And he's overruled by the judge on the far side, outside here in the perimeter, not the judge down low. Free throw off the mark on the front end for Johnson.
Amaje Smith checks in with 4 fouls. Jalen Moore has returned as well.
And I think the reason why the foul was not called is because Johnson had kind of hooked his way around there, but there was some give and take. 1 of 2 on the free throws from Malcolm Johnson. Amaje Smith over to Coleman. Coleman guarded by Udenyi. Blocking foul on Udenyi. That's maybe a bit of a makeup call. Udenyi's done. Lance Coleman going to the stripe for 2. Man, 52 fouls called in this one.
5th player to foul out in the game between the two teams, and I don't know if we've ever seen that in our coverage. That many fouling out, and we're talking about the degree of difficulty to officiate this game, the physical play down there, and I think it's safe to say with 3:20 to go that there was a decision made about how this game was going to be officiated, and that was pretty close. We weren't going to let the physical play get out of hand. We were going to do what we could to make sure that the physical play didn't escalate, and you're seeing players foul out left and right, which I guess is the almost inevitable result of that.
Yeah, with some of the physical interactions that we saw earlier in this ball game, this could have easily gotten away from the referee. So, if you're at home and you're watching this, you're saying, well, man, some of this is prison rule stuff, but the whistles have been there.
Yeah.
2 free throws good for Lance Coleman. The lead back to 8 for the Hornets. 3:13 to go. Not out of it yet, but it is getting late here for the Rams. Johnson loses it. It's on the floor. McCobb comes away with it. Arrow in favor. Oh, that's a foul on Moore. You just have to secure that ball if you're the Hornets. free throws coming to Alec Check.
Part of what makes the Hornets 2-3 zone so effective is working against the 2-3 zone. You want to enter it into the high post, and it's so difficult to get the ball into the high post against the Hornet zone.
And you look at the tenacity from Malcolm Johnson on the floor for his team, trying to will his team to a defense of their state title from a year ago. Watch this again. He's the first man to really dive at the ball. McCobb had gone down, but going away from the ball. Smith was there, but they were unable to secure it. Free throw, second one off the mark. Coleman with the board.
That's been what's so great about this event. 16 teams. I don't think there's been a single player who couldn't wait to get to the floor to chase a loose ball.
Agreed. McCobb on the dribble versus Harris. Gets up at the rim. Layup up, no good. Second one he's missed. He's point blank. Not going to miss that one. He's got it out to a 9-point lead. McCobb with 20.
Harris trying to take the charge, and he ends up taking himself out of the play.
Winston from 3. That's off. Check. Tracks down a long rebound. Curry in the corner. Foul.
And that'll be number 5 on Smith.
Wow.
You should see Bonner. No, Bonner's out there. Who's coming in?
Coach,
it's Resendez.
Yeah, it's Resendez. Anthony Resendez, 6'6" sophomore from Norwalk, California, out of Gar High School. Has not seen a minute in the state championship run for the Hornets. Not entirely sure when the last time he was on the floor, period, for Fullerton. But he's out there right now, the biggest stretch of the season of his young career. First free throw off the mark for Curry.
He did appear in 16 games this season off the bench. Continue to hurt themselves at the line. Struggling with missed free throws.
Second free throw is good. Full court pressure. They get it into the middle of the floor. McCobb has more. And he's going to travel. He did.
And McCobb there, I think he just looks up, trying to anticipate where he wants to go with the ball, and just loses track of the dribble.
Just didn't have it cleanly. Yep. He moved too much. Moved too many steps there. And if anything, even if he didn't, it looked awkward in the eye of the referee. When it looks awkward, it's going to get called. It's a travel, a turnover. San Francisco with it, and a pulse. McCullough comes free. Resendez closing out, and it's an air ball for Austin McCullough. Johnson trying to poke it away from Coleman. McCobb in the corner. Gives it back to Lance Coleman, the second. Up top, the last guy you want to foul on the floor is Lance Coleman. He's going to the line, shooting 90+ on the year. He's fouled by Winston. Winston now his third foul.
Under 2 minutes to go at this point with an 8-point lead. I think if you're the Hornets, you don't even want to take a shot from the field. Just run the time. Try to take care of business at the free throw line.
No better man than Lance Coleman here. First free throw, money.
Actually touched the rim, which was somewhat noteworthy.
7 of 7. Make it 8 of 8 now from the stripe for Lance Coleman.
You're not shooting free throws against that guy for money.
No, you're going to lose. Winston driving the lane. He's fouled by McCobb.
Just the second on McCobb. Well, amongst the many things that Roderick McCobb has done right, perhaps nothing more impressive than the fact that he only has 2 fouls on him. In this one, over 38 minutes in. 10-point lead for the Hornets. They close in 1:49 to go. You're watching the Men's Basketball Championship here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
broadcast courtesy of Phil Thurman, SID for Fullerton College. This is the rubber match between the two teams all time. First meeting came back in 1937-38. It's lost 35-31.
It's an 82-year three-game series.
And then a win back in 61-62, 46-45. First free throw up and good for Winston.
That is tough scheduling.
Not over yet, but 1:49 to go. 9-point lead for the Hornets. Second free throw also good, so make it 8. Venus fouled out. Udenyu's fouled out. For the Rams, they have jump ball. Arrow in favor of Fullerton. I think that's a good call there. Curry got in cleanly.
The Hornets still have 3 timeouts. So at this point,
somebody flashing.
If you're in trouble, it could burn one.
Agreed. There's a foul here. No, timeout. 30-second timeout called by Fullerton. A little disarray. Only 22 on the shot clock, so that means they have 2 seconds to get across the timeline. See Diablo Valley for the women. Getting ready.
If you're
loosening up.
If you're thinking about who you might want to try to foul if you're City College of San Francisco, Harrison Bonner shoots 60% from the line. Obviously, Coleman up over 90 at 92. Roderick McCobb, 75%. Anthony Resendez, of course, somewhat cold off the bench, not a lot of minutes played. He's technically 100% on the season. Don't imagine that's on particularly high volume, but he has been solid so far. And Jalen Moore out there, an 86% foul shooter.
Lance Coleman got 15 in this one, 15 and 8. He's been, the Southern California Player of the Year. He's been such a big part of what they've done here up at the championships. Big games versus Santa Rosa, and then yesterday versus Fresno. Roderick McCobb now with 20 in this one. He's 8 of 12 from the field. He had the defensive assignment after Omaje Smith could not play on Thursday versus Skylar Chavez. Did one heck of a job making him work for his offense. What's the call for tournament MVP?
Yeah, Coleman was so huge on Thursday. They're not here if Coleman doesn't come up with just an amazing performance down the stretch in that one. But I'll tell you, Rod McCobb, today, just when they absolutely needed it, it was the team, it was getting away from them a little bit with the foul trouble.
Offensive foul on Jalen Moore. Was that a technical foul? Or a warning to the bench? Okay, did Moore lose possession? He did. Okay, so it's a loose ball foul, and Curry will go to the free throw line here.
This will be for 2 free throws.
Yep. Double bonus, both teams. Curry Webster pleading his case. Good reason. This free throw off.
Yeah, the Rams now 17 of 28 as a team from the line.
Curry with a lane violation earlier in this ball game. And box out here if you're the Hornets. Second free throw up and good. The lead is 7 for the Hornets. Coleman has it. Bonner back to Coleman. Coleman pushes it up ahead to McCobb. McCobb dribbles into a corner. Over to Coleman. 19 on the shot clock. Nice job in terms of composure on this possession for the Hornets. McCobb on the far side. Playing keep away. Reach in for check.
And then the foul after 27 seconds go off the clock. And I know if you're Alec Check, you're feeling as though you have to make something happen. And he does. They're down 3 possessions right now with 7. But boy, you hate to see that foul after you play the defense for 27 seconds. Now, maybe you'd prefer to take your chances for 8 more seconds and get the ball back without giving the free throws. But McCobb will have a chance to extend on the lead.
Roderick McCobb with 20 points in this one, looking for a couple of coffin nail free throws. Misses on the first. gassed.
He went for 39 minutes on Thursday night guarding Skylar Chavez, and then 30-plus again yesterday. And he's been out there for most of it today.
Second one is in, 75-67, a minute 12 to go. McCobb guarding Malcolm Johnson. Johnson into the lane, kicks it out, wide open. Alec Check from three for San Francisco. Off the mark, Check off the carom. Curry looking for a 4-point play, gets one up on the rim. No call made. Coleman secures a rebound. Coleman going to the line, under a minute to go. The Hornets can smell the championship here in 2019.
You got the guy you want at the line, under a minute to go. 8-point lead. I'll tell you, adversity for both teams in reality, even as deep as that Ram bench is. But boy, the Hornets, 4 players have fouled out in this one.
That's called digging deep for Fullerton. See if we can get Perry Webster on an interview.
Sorry about that.
Coleman hits both free throws. 77-67. The Hornets have a 10-point lead.
Need a good shot here. Check nearly lost it out of bounds. Going to have a foul on Bonner. 44 seconds to go. More importantly, the clock stopping. And the Hornets with a 10-point lead, just looking to salt it away.
Bonner in that situation doesn't want to stop the clock. Sensed an opportunity maybe to get the ball back and really salt this one away, but instead sends Check to the line.
Free throw up and good for Alec Check. Check now with 9 points in this one. Second one off the mark. Roderick McCobb, who else, pulls down the board. Foul.
In the game for McCobb with 6 rebounds.
Timeout, full one here from San Francisco, trailing by 9. Roderick McCobb from the free throw line when we come back. Hornets 40 seconds away from a timeout and dethroning the defending champs. Roderick McCobb. 21 points, make it 22. The lead back to double digits for the Hornets. Incredible performance from Roderick on the season. It's on the second. Really in this final, balling out. Curry from 3. That's good. Lead cut to 8. Coleman calls the timeout. We'll have a foul called on Jalen Moore before the timeout.
Do we have a, yeah, well, there.
Wow. So Moore, that's his 4th. Foul on 15. Can we see that again, guys? I know we had a pretty good look at it.
We had a really good. Yeah, let's look at it one more time here. And it's a little. It's something of a microcosm of the entire game. It's a little bit of jostling between two guys. Both kind of have their hands in there at different times, and then Curry goes to the floor, and the whistle comes in, and it's.
Wonder if we can go frame by frame there just to kind of look at it. Slow it down here. So there's Curry holding on to Moore, and then Moore. It's kind of tit for tat, but there's an overrule there.
1 out of 2.
1 out of 2 for Moore. 9-point advantage. Curry again from 3. That one's in. Not over yet. 30 seconds to go. It's a 6-1 run in the last 12 seconds for CCSF. They still trail it by 6. Jalen Moore going to the free throw line.
I want to say it was 1992. Indiana made a furious comeback on Duke in the Final Four. It was a young man named Todd Leary, I believe, hit about 4 threes in about a minute.
Did you say that in 1990 or 1980?
92.
92. A 90s reference? No way, still. Didn't know you had that in your bag.
But, and to see the furious rally there, Dale Curry just trying to launch up the threes from everywhere, and is the great equalizer, but he's going to need about 3 or 4 more here.
Big free throws. Jalen Moore to salt this one away. Curry is done. Or check that, McCullough is done. He's just fouled out.
Yeah, good news for Fullerton fans in that analogy. Duke still won the game.
Second free throw also good from Jalen Moore. Jalen Moore now with 24 in this one. That one off the mark. Johnson with the rebound, put back finish, and we'll have a timeout called by head coach Justin LeBon. That'll be the last one for the Rams. I think they gave it to Roger McCobb, that last one. It should be 20. Yeah, okay, Jalen Moore now with 12. Roger McCobb has 23 points. We'll fix that, I'm sure.
Dale Curry with 21 to lead the Rams. Malcolm Johnson, 13 and 11. Well, I think we understand now how Malcolm Johnson racked up the accolades. Being a double-double machine, 13 and 11. And it's a terrific rebounder in the front court. 4 assists as well for Johnson. McCullough finishes with 11. Fouling out, Deshaun Winston with 10. But the Hornets, Michael, seemingly doing what they've done all year against the toughest competition, just finding a way, grinding it out, working for 40 minutes on the court, and finding a way to get it done.
To think about what they had to endure to get here, they lose their point guard on the season, their floor leader, Ezekiel Alley, Zeke Alley, earlier in the year, lose him for the year, not coming back. Who's got to step up? Dylan Banks. Dylan Banks starts getting more minutes.
Yep.
It's been huge on the way up here. Now, think about the regional final in the South. We had that game for you here on SoCalCollegeSports.com against a very talented Southwestern ball club. A close, gritty win, a comeback win. Dylan Banks leading the way in that one. Lance Coleman, the player of the year in the South, with an off game that night. They were able to get past that. And how about here in the final, Ronnie Reedus, plagued by foul troubles, fouls out while on the bench via a technical foul. And it's been the Hornets against the world. I'm sure that's the way it's been framed by head coach Perry Webster.
Coleman finally missed a free throw.
Wow.
I have to check the date on the last one that he missed.
Curry pulls up. Off the backboard first. Check with the rebound down low. Resendez in, and he's fouled. Anthony Resendez, his highlight.
Young man right there with a block and send it to the line. He gets some congratulations from his teammates. Big play. And 12 seconds, and now how about this moment for Anthony Resendez? He can take the walk there when now the Hornets can really start to celebrate this one. All but wrapped up. 3 possessions now with 12 seconds to go. And maybe Perry Webster can relax just slightly on that on the bench. Not sure.
No, he's still in knots here. Free throw, no good. First one for Resendez. Second free throw, that one's money. Out to an 8-point lead. McCobb will adjust here. Play up the floor. Not let Curry get down with no time off and jack up a three. Winston from NBA range. Banks one in from three with 7 seconds remaining. Lead down to 5. Here comes McCobb playing keep away. Resendez, the final man with it. Off to McCobb. Resendez will go back to the line with 2 seconds left, but it's going to be a formality. No happier man on the bench than Ronnie Reedus, who will be bailed out by this incredible squad.
The celebration really starts on the Hornet bench.
Incredibly resilient squad of Fullerton College. Will be your 2019 3C2A basketball championship in the men's bracket.
And, of course, such a hard-fought game. And we do want to quickly, of course, offer congratulations to City College of San Francisco on an outstanding year. Just their second loss on the season, the defending champs. And they defended their title all the way till the very last game, ultimately falling here. But another fantastic season for Justin LeBeau and his program at City College of San Francisco as well.
The Rams come up short, unable to defend their title. It's the Hornets. The new crown goes to them. Roderick McCobb. We'll see if it's him or Lance Coleman as tournament MVP when we come back here. SoCalCollegeSports.com.
might not be where you won this championship as a player. Now you won it as a coach. Can you compare those two?
No, there's not really a comparison. It's two different feelings. I think the one thing though is you feel a sense of relief. You know, you put so much pressure on yourself to be at the top of your game every day, and I just feel relieved that we were able to accomplish what I felt this team was capable of the whole year, and we did it. We fought through a lot of adversity through the year, fought through a lot of adversity through the game, and maybe they didn't want Fullerton College to win, but Fullerton College is tougher than that, and we found a way.
Indeed you did. The foul trouble really out of control on both sides, but you're losing players. I think it was ultimately 4 players that fouled out in this game. Talk about from a coaching standpoint, how are you talking to your team? Obviously, there was some frustration there with the fouls that are called for the players, but how do you bring them back and keep them in the game?
Yeah, we got a little frustrated. Ronnie picked up a tee on the bench he should have gotten, but that was on him. You know, there was some good reffing in the game, too. You know, I don't want to talk too much about the reffing, but it sure felt like one guy didn't want us to win. And I know he's from Northern California, so it is what it is. 3C2A doesn't want to hear that, but that is what happened.
Fullerton College, not to be denied. I know you want to get over there and celebrate with your guys. Barry, thanks so much for taking the time. Congratulations again. Right. We'll send it back upstairs.
We have a new champ. It's Fullerton College and the Hornets here in 2019 in the 3C2A. And special thanks, of course, to Roderick McCobb and Perry Webster coming on and really giving us their time in the heat of battle at the end of a big win. They were up against it in terms of foul trouble, and we knew that foul trouble was going to come into play, but they persevered, and, man, what a job. What a job.
Yeah, that was, in the vernacular of Nolan Richardson, that was 40 minutes of hell, really, for both teams. Very physical play, a spirited contest on both sides, and both teams really wanted it. And that presented all kinds of challenges for the players, for the coaches, for the refs in this one. And ultimately, you just tip your hat to the Hornets. I think after it's all said and done on this day, the better team won it, and the Hornets are your champions in 2019, and of course we give our congratulations to them, certainly.
Yeah, the Hornets were number 1 for much of the year in the rankings, even after the loss of Zeke Alley earlier in the year. They gave up that number 1 state ranking to City College of San Francisco after a loss in conference to Saddleback College, and Andy Ground and the Gauchos, always a tough opponent. And you suspect we might see Saddleback up here pretty soon at the state finals, but just an incredible performance of just persevering and resiliency by a squad that, they could have easily went away battling the adversity, some calls not going in their favor. And hey, look, both teams had guys that foul out. 4 guys fouled out for Fullerton, 4 guys fouled out, big contributors for San Francisco. So, back and forth there. Incredible effort by the Northern Cal State Player of the Year in Malcolm Johnson, 13 and 11. Dale Curry leading the way for the Rams with 21 in this one.
It's amazing how storylines play out in a tournament like this year after year. You saw Citrus College, you saw Santa Monica, very talented teams, very well-coached teams, right to the brink against City College of San Francisco. The Rams found a way. But who was the team who ultimately found a way against them? A team that's been tough as nails and gritty and found a way all season long against a very tough schedule to find different ways and gut out wins. And ultimately, the Rams made a couple of pushes in this second half, started to make runs, but the Hornets just found a way, and that's been the storyline all season, and why shouldn't the season end that way?
Yeah, and you talk about, a team that's as tough as nails. We go back to the last trip up here for Perry Webster to Ventura College in a championship setting. That year, he had separated his shoulder, and he was playing through a separated shoulder in the quarterfinals, in the Final Four format that year, up in the 3C2A. Falling a little short the year previous. They had won it. They were looking to go back-to-back in his tenure at Saddleback, but now a champion as a player, and now a coach. That was a great question on the interview there with Perry there, Jeffrey.
Well, it's funny that I think the storyline that's developing now is it's hard to repeat here. We saw San Diego City get to the brink after winning it, and they fall short to the Rams, and now the Rams get all the way here to the final game, and they fall short. So we'll see how the Hornets do next season, but it's a statement about how the talent just continues to blossom and develop and expand in the 3C2A, more and more just top-notch players coming in, and more and more programs developing into power. So we'll see what happens here, but it's getting to be a tough deal to close it 2 years in a row.
Yeah, we were making the joke of, last year our color commentator in the men's bracket was Perry Webster. And we were making the joke of, hey, we're going to get you on the broadcast at some point. Indeed, we did at the end there.
It took all the way to the end, but we got him.
And congratulations again to Roderick McCobb, player of the game here in the final, 23-6, really leading the way for the Hornets, especially after Ronnie Reedus had fouled out with a lot of time still to go. Your champion, 2019 again, the Fullerton College Hornets, 85-79, the winner over the defending state champs, City College of San Francisco. That'll wrap it up for this broadcast. Battle number 1 seeds in the women's bracket, DVC and Moore Park, the state number 1. Coming up in just a bit. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you in a little bit.